Welcome to Two Steps Back with Nicole and Kat. It's a podcast.
On na pala.
Hi, it's us.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to our podcast called
Two Steps Back with Nicole and Kat.
So we finally,
Actually, medyo brain baby to for the longest time. Because I think we were talking about like, what are we gonna work on together?
yeah. Tapos may notes na ako sa iPad ko for how many years on our podcast and the possible topics.
Ayan, at least nag-manifest ko talaga
Yeah.
yung project na to.
Oh,
But I think we should get everyone to know, like, how did we get to know each other?
It was the year 2016. This is the beginning of a legend, charot.
Actually, we met before that though, but I didn't realize it until I looked back on past pictures because we had walked in a fashion show together.
Philippine Fashion Week, man! Tapos magandang bata na talaga nun si Kat. Were you just 18 nun?
Yes, as a baby girl.
Yeah. Pero mukha na siyang Miss Universe nun.
Wow!
You were wearing a yellow dress and a scarf.
Yes, now wrapped around as a belt. My fashion back then was what my house looks like now.
Oh, yeah. Color.
Yeah.
Everything color.
Oh, but then we formally met, 2016 nga.
Yeah. Sa
Kuya.
studio. Kuya Kaloy.
Who is Kuya Kaloy? In a way, he's the one who brought us together. I feel that made us really bond because we're both his daughters. Kuya Kaloy mentored the both of us, me through Miss World and then subsequently Binibini and then Miss Universe. And for Nicole,
Bini. He plucked me right out of Miss Chinatown. Messaged me. It was like, do you want to join?
oh, and we super bonded. We became like a family, no?
Pero in the beginning, when I met Kat, magko-compete ka pa lang nun sa Miss World. You were super baby pa noon, I remember. Tapos I was busy with Binibini na. So we weren't instant friends or anything.
No.
Diba?
Acquaintances muna.
Oo.
But we didn't really get an opportunity to bond kasi.
Yeah.
And then, when I was trying for Binibining Pilipinas, I think that's when we started to bond a little bit more. But actually in the context of pageantry, which is really interesting because since then, I feel like I've become so much more close to you after all that craziness happened.
Yeah. And I have this thing din kasi na, you know, from a private person and then thrown into the public eye. Tapos you hear all these stories of yung girls getting crowned, suddenly getting fame. So I never expected friendship from Kat. I didn't. And I was very careful then. Kasi there are, parang bihira sobra in our industry na makahanap na same wavelength kayo, same considerations. Yung level of consideration.
True.
There, oh my gosh, I was... No,
brimming.
Wala pa, simula pa lang to. So parang I was on guard na parang even if nagpatulong si Kat sa akin for Q&A, parang okay, I'll just be there to help. Tapos wala na ako ina-expect afterwards na, oh, we're gonna go out or she owes me anything, ganon. Kasi parang, feeling ko that time, when I was seeing how everything unfolded in the industry, everything was fleeting talaga, sis. Yung you were together kasi yung schedules you match.
Yes.
Tapos hindi kayo lagi same level of effort, diba? To like seek each other out.
Yeah.
Yung mga ganong stuff.
True.
Which is normal.
Yeah, normal naman. It's like when life happens, it's not a proximity friendship anymore like you would get at school or college where you see the person every day. Parang the effort to meet each other, to make the effort. But funnily enough din, even after Miss Universe pandemic, we didn't talk much either.
Di ba?
Diba?
Yeah.
Like, it would be like the konting tidbit lang.
Yeah.
But then it was after. How did we really reconnect though? It just happened. I think it was Bini nga. Hindi ba? When we hosted together.
Yeah. Pero even before the pandemic, when we did the VJ Pascual shoot,
Yeah.
parang close tayo nun. Okay, so close friends kami nun ni Kat. Eventually, kasi I saw that Kat she kept people around. May lamok. She kept people around. Like, kung mapapansin niyo rin guys, yung circle niya when she began, yun pa rin circle niya now. And I think it's pretty much the same case for me then. So I was like, okay, maybe okay siyang friend. Like, she's the type to stick around. So I was like, okay. Pero, may super parehong ugali kami ni Kat.
Yeah, I think I was just about to mention that when you mentioned about frequency kanina. That's the thing na talagang I feel like we really matched because like Nicole mentioned it a little bit, like in our industry as well, I would say you seldom see girls who are willing to rub people the wrong way because they believe in something for themselves. Like, they're not yung tipong yes girls, especially in pageantry. And when I first met Nicole, like, I could see that she is so independent, and I really love that about her. And I feel like that's how we get on the same frequency as well. And of course, I admire her skill as well. I would be willing to bet any money to put Nicole like head to head with any other queen in terms of Q&A. Please, I'll put
Wag
all
lang
my
siya.
money there.
Wag lang siya.
No, but seriously, sis, talaga, iba kang talagang talent. And also in hosting. Kaya I'm also happy that we're accumulating all of that. It's almost like we're rising up here together to finally be madaldal on one platform
yeah.
for longer than the length of Pining
Parang ang dami natin pinagdaanan.
Yeah,
Actually.
super. In a way, we've kind of grown up together.
Yeah.
In a type of circle that isn't very typical. Because I mean, not many people can relate to pageantry. I think a lot of people can see it as entertainment or look up to it. But for people to actually experience it is not something that everyone gets to live out. And then to find a friend that nag-jive talaga kayo, and then we've since traveled internationally together. Now we're doing projects together. Ang saya.
Yeah, super. Pero may funny ugali kami ni Kat. Na, we're so alike in so many ways, so independent na kahit na friends na kami for a while now, for a long time. Recently lang din kami nag-open up talaga to each other. Yung iyakan levels.
Yes.
Kasi we're so independent and stubborn. That we want to solve our own problems first before we confide in each other. So, tuwing nagko-confide na kami, tapos na yung problema, na-solve na namin, like, parang kami nag-present na, ito yung naging problema ko, may solution na, tapos na.
Oh, actually, totoo yun.
Diba?
That's actually a learning that I've only had in the last maybe 2 years to open up to people in general. And like, you've been one of the first ones. And so, talagang na-appreciate ko, like, you'd be someone to be like, babe, I can go there right now. Do you want me to come over? Where are you? Let's make time. So talagang, natuwa talaga.
Kasi medyo nakakatakot na kung independent women yung naghahanap sa'yo na, babe, can we see each other? Parang ibang level yung kaba mo na, hala, malala na to. Kasi 911 call na eh.
Oh.
Usually afterthought tayo. So that's another thing about our friendship now. Kaya parang super perfect din yung time to do a podcast right now. And this podcast is gonna get really, really personal, actually.
Yeah, and I'm actually really excited about it because I was telling you, Nona, I feel like I've come to a point in my career and personal life where I'm willing to be more vulnerable. Because I mean, I don't know if you relate, but when I became a public figure or amassed my audience, like I was a Miss Universe, and so I was like, oh, I represent a brand. I am a spokesperson for this brand. It's what I'm associated with. So I have to be very conservative about how I express different opinions or speak up on different things or share things about myself. But now, like 5 years later, I want to share more because like parang I'm only starting to learn now that there's so much strength and vulnerability where I grew up my whole life thinking it was the complete opposite. As independent woman, ang hirap maging vulnerable. I mean, in that.
That's true, sis.
Super.
Kaya nga nagpatimpla ako sa'yo ng kape today. So this first episode of ours would focus on reintroducing ourselves.
Yeah.
Because feeling ko, ayun nga sis, parang we get to finally really just be ourselves.
Yeah, which is exciting kasi baka may perception na kayo of us.
Yeah, which is
nice
usually
one.
the case, diba? Pag beauty queens.
Yes.
That's why when we act out of our usual stage presence, nagugulat yung mga tao. Pero before we dive into the whole topics and questions and everything, 2 steps back. The title.
And actually, I want to ask you because you came up with the name and presented it to me naman.
Yes, may
And I have
presentation na ganap.
And I have my own interpretation of the name, but I want to know what yours is. Like, what does 2 steps back mean to you?
Well, I like na yung 2 steps back, parang may negative connotation siya na we take for granted so often. If you take 2 steps back, you're getting left behind. Pero it's an opportunity that we don't take hold of most of the time na if something's going wrong, we just need to stop kahit na maiwan tayo for a while and look at the big picture, figure it out. How else are we gonna advance if we don't humble ourselves to be able to wait first and fix it?
My definition of the 2 steps back title is I'm a very cerebral person. I think we have that in common. And I always want to reflect, and I love a good debrief after whatever it is in work, because I feel like it's only in retrospection that you really get to see something for what it is. Whether it's something that you've gone through, or maybe a challenge that you're facing, or maybe a relationship that you're in, or maybe it's an opportunity that you want to go for. Like sometimes you gotta just like back up a little bit, regroup, or maybe like, what can I learn from this scenario, or what just happened? How am I going to apply this going forward? So parang I feel like that's what the podcast is also going to entail. We're going to bring, me and Nicole are going to bring a lot of our personal pinagdaanans, things that we've learned. Maybe like in a way I know that I'd hopefully want to feel like I'm speaking to a younger version of myself.
Oh my gosh, the scolding she needs.
But I mean, like, that's why I wanted to create this safe space with you, because I think it's so empowering. And I know that's a word that's thrown around like confetti nowadays, like, empower this. I want to empower, and especially in pageantry. But like, I feel like the real essence of that is like you share what you've gone through, your vulnerabilities, and people can be like, oh, I thought I was alone in that. Or like, oh, that's how I could get out of it. Or yes, it's tough, but I can get to the other side. I think it's something that's really, really lovely.
Yeah, and we hope you get to share your experiences then, guys. We're going to set up a Facebook group, an Instagram page, so that we can build a community there.
So we want to get to know you guys as well as you know us. So with that being said, we have prepared like a slam book collection of questions.
So did you have this slam book culture ba when you were in Australia? Kasi we did when we were kids here.
No, I think the only glimpse of that I got was Mean Girls.
Oh, yung burn book. Yeah.
But like a slam book, wala. And also like Cosmo, diba? Cosmopolitan magazine, kapag may cover star, meron silang parang little like quiz.
Like get to know me. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Pero for us, feeling ko as a kid, growing up with the slam book, it was empowering. Kasi parang testimonials siya. Like, oh, what do you think of me? And then yung dedication mo sa akin. And then it translated to Friendster eventually.
Cute.
So, yeah, I feel like, it's something that we should recreate now.
I'm excited for it. At least, you guys get to know our kulit side as well.
Yeah. And Kat's actually very kulit. Okay, so our first question. What kind of kid were you?
Oh.
Were you a cool kid ba in school?
No. At all. But in my dynamic when I grew up naman, there was like the popular group that were quite smaller in terms of the size of people that were in it. Like it was only maybe like 15 of them, and we were a cohort of say 60. So they kind of kept to themselves, and then the rest of us will all intermingle with each other. But I had like a group of like 6 really good friends, and we were all so different. And we all had different backgrounds, and we all had different personalities, but we somehow meshed. But definitely not a cool kid. Ikaw?
I was lame. I was lame. I feel like I was an ugly duckling in a way.
Theo doesn't agree.
Oh, he doesn't agree. Sorry. What an empowering dog. No, but I was a very academics-focused girl. I didn't have a sport growing up.
Okay.
Parang
Pareho pala tayo.
Yeah. Pero sasali ka lang kasi matangkad ka. So parang mag-volleyball ka, mag-basketball ka, pero you were never really good at it or passionate in it.
Okay.
And then, walang may crush sa akin.
Oh.
Ikaw ba? Crush ng bayan ka ba dun? No.
Sobrang awkward ako kapag may crush din ako. Like, I wouldn't tell them. I'd pretend that they didn't exist. But I never had, like, people come up to me and be like, crush kita. Wala.
Yeah.
So I felt super awkward. I was super tall. As in, like, I was like 11, 12. I was already 5'10". So I was like a bamboo. I was so, like, skinny and awkward.
Lanky.
I was so lanky. And I felt really, really awkward. Like, I think the same feelings of being an ugly duckling, which is, and people are probably watching this being like, yeah, right. But I felt like it.
Ako nga katabi niya ako, yeah, right. tinatanong ko na kay Kat dati, parang, anong feeling na panganak ka maganda? Because when I was a kid, I also had really bad teeth. That's why I thank God for pageant and sponsored veneers. Yeah. Kasi talagang, ako lang siguro yung kid na sobrang saya na magka-braces nun. And would religiously, ako pa mag-schedule sa parents ko na, I gotta go to the dentist this weekend. Kasi nakaganon talaga teeth ko in front. I had overcrowding. So yeah, I was really the duck.
Dapat i-insert natin ng pictures because I also had braces. Dapat i-insert
Ma, nag-braces ka?
Oo,
Hindi ko yun alam.
nag-braces din ako. I-insert natin yung picture.
Reveal. Oh, you can see it in the YouTube exclusive of this video.
Oo, dapat yung audio. We brought this and turned it into
A princess. Sucks.
Cute yun. Sige,
Pero, oh
i-insert
my God, nagka-mean girl era din ako.
Oh!
Yeah! Ay, the reaction. Ay! We're being invaded here by the book.
By the link white boys. Okay, gusto ni Bailey nakikinig din sa Mean Girl era.
May chika. No, it was, parang naging super enemy ko lang yung best friend ko. Ngayon. Best friend ko na siya ngayon.
Kasi parang, let's start kayo as enemy?
Like, sabi talaga ng tita ko nun, alam mo, in the end, magiging best friends kayo. Sabi ko, never talaga. As in never. Tapos ngayon, we're the closest friends. Like, barkada kami. Kasi you know how when you were kids, you just don't know how to act. And then,
Yeah.
parang,
Walang conflict resolution.
oh, pero may siraan, ganun, may backstabbing. to get this friend on your side.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
kasi walang drama. So, gagawa ka ng sarili mong drama.
Pero
Nagkaroon ng ganong era ko
Oh
na
my God!
may
Anong
sulutan
age ka dito?
parang ipapirate mo yung mga friends na to. Ano,
Come over to my
parang
team.
within the friend group, merong core group.
Ah,
So, yung siguro translation to today, may group chat within the group chat. Ganon. Pero elementary pa ako noon. Pero
my
ending
God.
nga, super best friends. You try to get rid of them, pero hindi kaya.
ang cute ng character arc naman ng friendship niyo.
Yep.
From enemies to friend to best friend.
Yeah. So, napanganak ka ring anghel. Hindi kami.
I was just really, I think, someone who just wanted to be in the background because I was so tall. And then when we were growing, well, when I was growing up, I'm an only child pa. So wala akong kasamang sibling. So talagang on the shy side na ako. Add that to, we moved around so much. Like between the age of 1 and 8, we maybe moved, in Australia naman, we moved almost like 4 times. So I was always the new girl. And it just made me recede into silence. Like I was the girl that I wanted to be friends, but I wouldn't talk to you because I didn't know how. So I'd wait to be approached. So parang, I wasn't big on, I still am not big on drama, to be honest. But like I've always, I guess I've had the mindset of like, bakit kailangan magda-drama kayo? Like, hindi ba pwede na chill lang tayo? I've always been that friend.
Wala akong ganong friend nun. Lahat dramatic.
Kaya nandito na ako sa buhay mo.
Yeah. Kaya ngayon wala ng drama yung life. Hindi na naghanap ng drama. Pero you were never bullied naman or anything.
I was bullied a little bit, but it never stuck because my dad told me to engage in violence.
What? As a black belter ka.
At nag-black belted din ako. Yeah, so I did karate from the age of 8 to 12. And I think my parents put me in that because they told me that they just wanted me to have like that self-assuredness that no one could really like threaten me or like kind of knock me around or parang intimidate me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the form of bullying was mostly just about my height or my awkwardness and mga ganyan lang. But I had other friends who got bullied much worse.
Yeah.
And I never experienced things like that.
That's good.
Ikaw?
Ako nga daw yung bully. Pero hindi naman ako ng bully. Yun lang yung drama within friends.
Okay.
Yeah. Kaya naman. Kasi we were such a small batch din sa school. And it's so Christian. So, you'll go to hell if you bully someone. I mean, if you're mean, it's like, lagot ka kay Lord. Talaga.
Lord is always watching.
Yeah. Yung chapel time niya pa everyday. Naku, mag-repent ka talaga. May fear na gano'n na-instill sa amin as kids eh.
Grabe.
Bawal nga mag-PDA eh. Lagot ka rin kay Lord.
Catholic denomination yung school niyo?
Christian.
A Christian.
Wow. Pero as in, kung may magkasamang boy and girl sa hallway. Tapos alam mo may something, parang, scandalous.
Oh,
Yeah, ganun na siya.
Skipping Bridgerton. Yeah, very much. Alone without a chaperone.
Diba? Nanggang era kami nun. Okay, next question. Best and worst subject in school?
Oh, ikaw.
Worst math.
Oh.
Definitely. I like bumagsak ako.
Okay.
Tapos the next semester, most improved ako. Pero
Wow.
ano, syempre yung most improved ko from 74 to 80. Ganun.
At least mag-improve pa rin.
Yeah, pero naiyak pa rin ako ng moment na yun. Best subject, Chinese. I'm Chinese, by the way.
Okay. So
yeah.
that was able, like, you had a lot of knowledge brought in from home. Like, you knew how to write, speak, everything. Because usually, sometimes if you hear people grew up with a language, they know how to speak it, but not necessarily how to write it.
Yeah.
But were you already equipped with that before you went into school?
Not really, kasi Mandarin eh.
Okay.
Oo, Hokkien kami sa bahay.
So iba talaga siya. Fairness to you.
Pero kasi magaling ako sa Chinese because of memorization. So, nagamit ko siya sa Miss Grand, sa speech. Kasi you had to memorize. I was like, mabuti na lang talaga.
But memory is such a good skill that leads into everything.
Yeah. In another language pa. So, like,
Yeah.
how about you?
Me, favorite subject, English. Language talaga.
Yeah.
But also, like, I really loved writing from early on because I loved reading from early on. As you can see, we're in my house. These are all my books. But I've always loved reading ever since I was little. And then I always just love how you could be persuasive or suggest or illustrative with words. I just think it's really interesting. It's the only thing I've ever applied since leaving school.
Yeah.
And then my worst subject would be physics. Only because
yeah.
I just never enjoyed it. Chemistry, carry lang. Kasi parang math siya. And I took 2 calculuses, chem, physics, art, and English. Physics was my neglected subject. Yeah, too much math and science.
That's a lot.
Super. I look back on it now and like, what was the point?
How about this? Oh, what were the movies that made you the woman you are today?
Oh my God.
my. Saan na talbay? Podcast na pala to.
Movie? I want to say, funnily enough, the Lizzie McGuire movie. Because yes, because I super love musicals even until today, and I just really was in a phase of Lizzie McGuire when I was younger, and the whole like can be a secret pop star.
Yeah.
Just wala lang. I was like, oh my God, any girl can do it.
Yeah, she kind of did it though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Saya.
Oh,
At nag-wrong pa tayo.
I know.
Hey now.
Hey now. Ikaw, anong movie that made
Oh
you?
my
who
God.
you are?
Pero puro love story. A lot of The Notebook, Serendipity,
Oh, the Notebook.
13 going on 30.
Oh my gosh, Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, like the becoming of a woman.
The
yung mga ganon
rom-com.
stuff. Yeah. I would cry to The Notebook pagka ano.
Grabe yung Notebook. First time ko nanood. As in, talagang, beautiful.
And then the next 10 other times you watch it, you'll still cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Yeah, so I don't know na lang yung impact nun sa life ko right now. Cause like, these movies.
Okay, we're both hopeless romantics until now.
More hopeless than Pero yeah, I watched a lot of mga deep movies din naman. Pero yun, most of my time, I would spend talaga watching mga love stories. The sad ones, especially. To feel the pain, to feel something. Char. I'm a
What kind of childhood
Okay.
was this?
Okay, I'm a dramatic girl. I just realized now.
You just realized now.
Yeah. Pero it's good that you let it all out in your younger years. Tignan mo, nonchalant na ako ngayon.
Welcome to our therapy session. I love
Okay. Ito sa'yo to galing eh. What was a movie that you could recite the lines of when you were young?
Because I'm super curious. My iconic movie ka that you just know it by heart. That if you watch it, you could like follow along.
Ikaw meron.
Yeah, mine was Shrek. I used to love Shrek. to
I
the
did not
point
expect that.
that I could recite it, especially Donkey's line.
Donkey? Ano line?
Favorite
Which
ko
line?
talaga. Before, I could like, if I would watch the movie, I could speak the whole movie. That's how obsessed I was with that movie. But like, Donkey's my favorite character ever. It's such iconic. Napaka-random, pero so you can ask my parents. I'll tell you.
But also, we had this conversation before. I conveniently remembered it now. You rewatched Shrek recently, and you were like, there are scenes there that aren't made for kids.
Children. I think you get a realization a lot as an adult. Like you watch kid shows and you're like, oh, that's inappropriate.
Yeah. And then I kind of rewatched it again, and I was like, yeah, it is inappropriate. But if you never told me, I would have had this innocent enough Shrek this whole time.
Pero yeah, there's things.
Yeah, the little guy over there. Yeah. There's a clue right there.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. What is your favorite childhood memory?
I don't know why it stands out so much to me, but like growing up, wala akong like I was always alone. As an only child, but I would always have a dog. I grew up with a Rottweiler. Her name was Ellie, and I had named her because I, for some reason, at the age of 6, thought my middle name was Ellie, and I didn't like it. And I thought that if I gave it to her, it wouldn't be mine anymore. My middle name's actually Elisa. But 6-year-old logic, it doesn't work. I remember, like, I used to have a creek at the back of our house, and I would go there with her because I could just throw pebbles, and then she'd go after them. So we would just play in the water. It was only shallow lang, minsan may mga turtles, pero wala lang. It's like a really fond memory.
Grabe, parang novel naman yung tinarahan mo. Like, there's a creek behind our house. Behind our cottage. And I had this movie-looking dog, na, the cute dogs.
Hindi naman siya masyadong cute. She was so big, but she was a Rottweiler. She looked scary. She was so malambing. So I've always had a love for dogs ever since. That's why my 2 babies are here.
Yeah, now you have 2 kids. 2 furry children.
Yes. Ikaw. Fond childhood memories.
Fond childhood memories. I think nung nag-brown out lagi sa house namin before. Feeling ko lang whenever na nag-brown out nun, I don't know kung buhay na kayo nung era na to sa mga nakikinig dito. Pero like everything would be shut off, and then feeling mo lang yung house mo is a different character, and then
by candlelight.
Yeah, tapos feeling mo is an adventure. So I miss having that now. Like with
parang whimsical innocence of a kid. Like, walang electricity and it becomes something entirely different.
Parang you embrace uncertainty and the scariness of it all. Pagka ngayon, takot na ako sa uncertainty ngayon eh. I'm losing sleep over it, diba? Pero when you were a kid, you had that wonder na.
And also, I feel like our perception of how the possible outcomes was very limited.
Yeah.
But now as adults, it's like, oh my gosh, what if this happens or that happens or that happens?
And then most of it would be like the negative outcome.
Yes. But as a kid, I don't feel like you yet have that capacity, kaya.
Yeah. And you always believed in that one item in your list of outcomes that could go right.
Yeah. Let's be a kid again. Yeah.
Okay, next question is, when did you feel you were changing into a woman?
I don't know. Like, I always associated becoming a woman in terms of looking a certain way, because I think in movies and in literature, it's all about she became a woman when she started to have curves on her body and fill out. And as someone who has mostly just been up, down, straight for the most of my life, I've never related to that. But the biggest thing that I could probably relate to entering a new stage of my life as a woman was when I moved out of home at the age of 18, like a fresh 18. And all of a sudden, because I am an only child and I was quite sheltered at home. And then all of a sudden, I was in a new country, which was here in the Philippines. I'd been here before for school holidays and stuff, but I had never lived alone before. So even in terms of just being okay with my own company freaked me out. Like, I remember I'd be like, I want to go and eat out, but I feel so anxious. I need to be doing something while I'm eating. Like, I can't just sit here and like stare and people watch. Like, I need to be reading or on my phone or like doing something. It was a really, really strange time for me. But I was like, oh, this is the first baby steps of me getting to know myself.
But you did it so early on, at 18.
I mean, in Australia, it's kind of normal, though. I mean, culturally, it's like you're 18, you go to college, you move out of your parents' house. So didn't feel something that was crazy to do, but definitely scary. Growing pain for sure.
Pero since you're an only child, hindi ba parang mas tighter yung grip
you
sa'yo
would
ng
think
parents mo.
so. Kaya I'm really amazed at my parents because they have this attitude that they've always tried to encourage me to be independent, like even to think for myself, make my own decisions, even if they sometimes don't agree.
Yeah.
They'll be like, we trust you enough that you'll be able to come to your own conclusion. And I just think that's a great way to parent because it's like that kind of approach of saying, you know what, I raise my children to the best of their ability so that when they do go off on their own, I hope that I raise them to the point that they can make good decisions for themselves rather than micromanaging or hovering.
Right.
Oo.
Baka kasi nakita rin ng parents mo sa'yo na you're very, yung mental fortitude mo.
Hindi ako
Like you're so
troublesome
mature.
child
Yeah,
din.
yun nga eh.
Wala akong rebel phase. Hanggang ngayon.
Yeah, that's true. Like, si Tita Mita, when I get to talk to her, Kat is the perfect child.
Yeah, I wasn't troublesome. Wala akong trouble phase or like rebellious phase. But yeah.
But when it came to boyfriends, when you were younger, hindi rin naialam parents mo nun.
I was not allowed to go on many dates. Like it would just be allowed to cinema or whatever. And it would have to always be usually with other friends that are joined. It was mostly just like I'm not allowed to be alone with another person of the opposite sex, which I understand.
Yeah.
Like the reasoning of my parents behind that. And then when it came to my parents actually interacting with the person that I was dating, talagang standoffish ng dad ko. And I was like, why is my dad being so mean? Oo, pero I mean, looking back, I was the only child and I'm an only girl.
Yeah.
So, gets ko naman yung level of protection. Pero in a way, it's like, bakit kailangan maging intimidate? Ayun.
Biglang ganun si Tita.
Turn on. Oo,
May sariling pakulo talaga mga tatay.
and I don't think I'll ever truly understand being a woman and never having to step into the role of being a father. So I don't know.
That's true.
How was your dad growing up in terms of things like that?
Oh, super strict. Because I was a troublesome child.
That's what I love here.
So now you get to see how different we are.
Yeah.
No, pero kasi ako yung rebellious. Sobrang strong-willed, super stubborn, and I was very vocal about a lot of things. Na minsan parang mansasermon pa ako na adults.
Okay.
Yeah, parang, you know how when you were a kid, everything's just black and white. Like, what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
Pero like, knowing what I know now, I understand the gray. You know?
And I think also with your situation, you had to mature very quickly as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad was very, very strict. Kaya I didn't really get to build a social life either. In college, in high school, parang I wasn't encouraged to stay longer than your required amount of time sa school. Sa college, I need to go home straight away. So, nagka-rebellious phase ako, for sure.
Get.
Dark days. The dark days.
We can explore that in a future episode.
Definitely. Yan, mahaba-habang usapan yun.
Pero curious din ako dyan.
Okay, ito. Sige, a lighter one. Tell me about the boys you had a crush on when you were a kid.
Oh my God. I remember all of my crushes very vividly. I don't know why, but as a kid, like my love life in the form of who I was crushing on, like took up a lot of mental space. And I don't know why. But I think I've always just idolized the idea of love. Because, well, being an only child, I'd see my parents together. Not that they're the most affectionate and expressive, but I just guess I idolize the seeing two people become a unit. Yeah, so it makes sense. Not that I was thinking like, oh, the person I have a crush on is going to be my future husband or anything like that. But wala lang. I love the idea of love.
Yeah.
So, honestly, when I was young, it was just like the guys who are cute but a little bit quirky. I don't think I ever crushed on the same people that my friends did in a weird way. But the funny thing is, I would crush on these people but never even talk to them.
Same.
I was too shy. You would not find me dead, even like in proximity. Like I would literally pretend these people don't exist. And then I get sad when they like crush on someone else. And I'm like watching from afar, I'm like, you know, the IG filter.
Yeah, as I'm listening to you, it feels like I'm reliving my own experience.
Yeah.
But also wala akong plan. Like, if I try to come up with a plan to approach my crush, I'm like, wala talaga.
I really would play with the thought of like, what if I write them a letter and I leave it in their bag or their locker, and I would chicken out every single time. I never did it. And I'm not too mad that I didn't, because I was too scared of talking to a boy back then. I was like, just the letter alone, just to get the first introduction, and then you have to keep talking with them. I couldn't handle it.
So really, just the idea of love.
The idea of love as a hopeless romantic. And also, it's so funny to look back on, but like I still love music, but I loved music, especially back then. I was obsessed with lyrics. I'm one of those people. Like, I don't just listen to the sound of it, I listen to what the lyrics are saying. And I would emote to these lyrics. And I had never been heartbroken before. As Taylor Swift's Teardrops on My Guitar, I was like, oh, it's true.
Tapos parang ma-realize mo, teka, di pa ako nagkaka-jowa. Pero, galit ako. Naiyak ako.
Grabe, na-emote ko talaga to just the idea of it. Wala, the fantasy as a kid, siguro. And then also, when you're young, there's nothing else to really, like, bide for your attention.
Yeah. We had to watch free time.
Diba?
Tapos wala pa tayo sports. Yun.
Wala.
It's the sports.
And I was never allowed video games.
Oh.
I was never allowed, like, to have, like, a computer to play games on at home or anything like that. So, talagang free time. Either studying or I was outside.
Yeah.
Ikaw, same din.
The interesting tidbit about yung mga crushing ko nung when I was a young girl, Kasi it was a very Christian school. So True Love Waits yung campaign noon. Oh my pansin. Tapos uso pa nun, pinaka-hype na movie yung A Walk to Remember.
Oh my
So very like feeling mo ikaw si Jamie, ganon. With a pastor na father. It's like, I see. So parang falling in love was such a big deal talaga.
Okay,
But I feel like that molded my entire love life. Yun din yung reason kung bakit konti lang yung mga naging crush ko. And I've only ever had 3 boyfriends. And I'm 32.
Same.
I think yung mentality ko nun, ever since yung True Love Waits is, you know, you don't just invest in any person.
Yeah.
Parang dapat sobrang worthy yung person of your time. Yung worthy of our time, our attention. Tapos parang, it really built up my self-worth then as a woman.
Just na.
Na if you're gonna change your status from single to in a relationship, parang dapat this guy is really ready to commit to you.
Ang galing.
Which I think is your Christian principle then, di ba, sis?
No, but I only became a Christian at the age of 21. So I grew up and throughout school, and when I first started dating, I had absolutely no context of what I should be looking for, what it means to be in a relationship. As in, wala. I was blind.
Yeah.
So I think it's really nice that you were kind of given that framework, at least to begin with.
Yeah, I was traumatized with that framework. Kasi parang Christian school, then very Christian family, and I had these 2 twin aunts who are super doting on me talaga. They would even give me books on Christian marriages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, parang meron pang book na nagturo sa akin na you have to make a list of your negotiables and non-negotiables about a man. So it was a very, parang structure yung life ko na, okay, you have these hopeless romantic ideas, pero is you gotta narrow it down, you know? Because you have to pray about it, pray for your partner, ganon.
Pero curious ako, what would I be like, or what would my dating history look like if I was given those same tools?
Maybe we can do that activity.
Actually, for another future episode.
Oh, that'll be a fun one. Kasi, I want to redo it. Kasi would my standards from when I was younger be kind of the same?
Oh, yeah.
And how different would that look? Because, oh my gosh, sis, just when you thought you have it all figured out, wow, life would be like, let's mess things up and let's challenge you more so that you reach the avatar state and unlock the keys to the universe. Ganong level na.
Actually,
So yeah, that was me as a kid.
You know what I love about this so far? Imagine the question is just, what was your crush like at
Oh my God, yeah!
After 20 minutes. Banter.
Well, this is gonna be 2 episodes, I guess.
For sure. What
my
should
gosh.
we segue to part 2?
I think we're about to do that now.
So if you thought that this is the end of the cuento, it's not. We prepared our slam book questions. We're only halfway through. So with that being said, we'll see you guys in the part 2 of this episode of 2 Steps Back. Bye!
Nag-rewind lahat ng sinabi ko and I'm like, oh my God, what did I say in those episodes?